Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood are the knights in action in Gotham Knights, and each one have their own strengths and weaknesses and general style of play. In this video, we're going to break down each one to help you make that ultimate decision as to which one you're going to play as. Let's go. Let me know in the comments which one of the knights your favorite is. We'll start out with some just general stuff. Now, the character switching, you can switch characters after the first couple of missions when you get full access to the Belfry. However, you should pick a main to do the knighthood missions first, as it absolutely helps you traverse Gotham City as well as unlock your ultimate abilities. You kind of want a main one, at least in the early stages. We talk about that more in my tips video, so if you haven't watched that, go and watch that. You'll also get blueprints and upgrades for patrolling with certain characters, so you can craft better gear. So you want to kind of focus on that main one, but you do level up together. Like, you don't have to get XP for each of the knights, so you can switch freely in that regard. That's enough preamble. Let's get into the hero specifically. Who should we start with? Maybe we'll start with Red Hood, who is one that I've spent probably the least amount of time with, truth be told, but he really specializes in ranged combat and using the pistols that he has. Now, you have all of the melee combos with Red Hood as you do with all of the characters. However, his ranged kit is much more developed. You can do all the melee stuff and grab enemies and throw them and all that kind of stuff, but you really want to be just shooting enemies with his guns. That's his main crux of his kit, and all of his abilities really focus on upgrading that as well. Red Hood really is just that ultimate like brawler type that really wants to get in close but shoot enemies with the two pistols that he has, and all of his momentum abilities are revolved around that, especially his main one, which allows you to instantly reload by triggering it. So you want to use that entire clip and then use that ability to reload instantly and then keep attacking. He does do probably one of the highest damages overall because of some of his, in his Vengeance line, he has the ability to increase his damage to freaks, regulators, and mobs by 15% and crit damage by 5. Pretty much everything you fight in the game fits within those three categories, so essentially it just gives you a flat 15% damage increase just like across the board, so that's like huge. And all of his abilities really are based around just increasing that damage even more by various things. So you're gonna deal a lot of damage with Red Hood, which is really the crux of his kit. Now, his traversal ability, which I should have mentioned earlier, is the Mystical Leap. So every character has a unique traversal mechanic. His is Mystical Leap, so you basically just like Mario jump around the world, and it's pretty valuable to use. It's like one of the easier ones because you kind of just like keep that height and just keep jumping around, but that's the main crux. His ultimate ability is just like a charge shot where he'll do like a phantom shot, which will basically one-shot most enemies except for the ones that are right next to you. Moving on to Batgirl. Batgirl is a single target focused character, but she fits in a weird little hybrid between a stealth like hacker specialist while also having some really good defensive and just like brawler mechanics to her. She's kind of like Batman, I guess. I mean, she's Batgirl. But anyway, so her main unique ability is in the Oracle skill line. She's able to hack a lot of things, including cameras and the highlighted purple items you'll see when you're in those kind of mission areas. These can be cameras or they can be mines. You can even actually hack different enemies. You can like shock them as well. So it's really about that stealth kind of mechanic and hacking things to allow you to move around freely as well. But she's also got really good defensive abilities and just like general in-your-face combat abilities to be able to charge in up and close and like fight enemies really well. And I do like probably her momentum abilities the most. She's got a nice AoE where she throws some batarangs. She's also got the beatdown, which is really good for like the big brute enemies. She's got a lot of value to her kit. Her ultimate ability is a drone which she summons, which will damage enemies around you, but it will also heal you. And because of this and some of her other abilities, when she can actually revive herself if she gets down, like you get a second win where you can revive yourself, she's actually probably the best solo character in that regard because she fits into doing a little bit of stealth, doing a little bit of combat. She can revive herself if she gets down, which normally you need a co-op partner for that. And she has a drone which can take some of that pressure off you if you are in solo and because of her good defenses. So if you're playing solo, it's probably a good character to look at. I would say Batgirl. She's probably one of my favorites, to be honest, I would say. But moving on to Robin. Robin specializes in stealth and distraction of enemies. He is really all about stealth. He's all hard in on stealth. Now, his bow staff will allow you to do some AoE attacks with just your normal abilities because of the way that he swings it around. So you get a little bit of pressure or AoE control with that, but most of his skills are based around that stealth. He has the unique ability, which is the turnabout takedown, which will allow him to take down the large enemies, those brutes, like the mini boss enemies. This is actually huge. It doesn't sound that good, but the fact that you can just one-shot these enemies is like a huge bonus. He's also got some other unique takedowns and ways to really use takedowns in stealth, which is really valuable to him. So if you want to be be all in on stealth, Robin is definitely the character to go with. He also has some buffs to elemental attacks and damage as well, which is a valuable thing in the game, but stealth is the name of the game with Robin. His momentum abilities are focused on those distraction and subterfuge kind of elements, with his ultimate being the microbots that will charge at enemies and like distract them so you can really focus on other enemies. His traversal mechanic is like a teleport, which is probably the most annoying one. I actually find this to be the least interesting because you literally just hit a button and then like move a reticule and then teleport there. This is really good if you're trying stealth to like stealth around certain areas so you can get to like the exact positioning you want. But other than that, it's kind of annoying to use to traverse the world itself. But it's still a good mechanic, I would say, but it's not the best. I prefer like Batgirl's glide or even the Nightwing's glider, which we're about to talk about right now. Nightwing does have a glider as his traversal mechanic, and Nightwing is a leader of the pack, I would say. He's a melee specialist, but he's focused on the group combat. Like his pack leader tree line is really about buffing allies. So if you're playing in co-op, you're probably going to want to have a Nightwing in your party because of those buffs that he can give to the party themselves. Now, he is a really good momentum ability user. So his other line, the Acrobat, will buff a lot of his momentum abilities and momentum gain. And he's also got some really strong momentum abilities as well, like the AoE punch in the ground, which can be inflicted with elemental damage as well. So if you've got like a fire weapon, it'll do like fire damage, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of value in Nightwing and his general attacks, but he's definitely not ranged. He's a melee brawler that is a pack leader and focused on the team primarily, but you can absolutely play him in solo, and he does have some really interesting solo elements to his kit. His ultimate nest is maybe one of the worst. I'm not really sure if I prefer this or Red Hood's as the least, or my least favorite, I guess. It's probably out of those two, whether it's Red Hood or Nightwing's, but essentially what it does is it will increase your defensive and healing for a time when you're like standing in its circle. It does also inflict fear, but you have to be like in its radius, and because you do move around a lot in combat, it makes it a little hard to get the value out of Nest because you have to stand inside this specific circle, and you will often just like move out of it just by free flowing in the combat encounter. He is good character though, and the aerial attack bounce, where you can like aerial attack off enemies and bounce off them, is a great way to stay away from damage when you're on the ground while dealing damage to enemies. There is a lot of value in Nightwing. He's not a bad character. He does have some really cool momentum abilities and elemental damages when you combo them together, but he's personally not my favorite. So which hero or knight is the best? I don't think there is a straight like one answer to say something is the best. Now, because they are all extremely unique in their own playstyles and what they see value in, I think it depends on what you're looking for in the game. And if you really care, like honestly, you could just play any of them and see success and have a good time, right? If you want to focus solely on stealth and taking your time in encounters, Robin is absolutely the best because he can stealth take down literally everything, and it's the perfect encounter for that. If you're looking to maybe play solo and get a little bit of everything, like try a little bit of the melee combat as well as a little bit of range, as well as a little bit of stealth, like some hacking stuff, then Batgirl is the best because she has the ability to bring herself up, and she kind of is the most like jack of all trades character, I would say. If you're looking to be like the ranged character, I really like heavy brawler, then Red Hood is perfect for that. If you just want to be a co-op partner as well as maybe use some cool like momentum abilities, then Nightwing is probably the option. But Nightwing is really the most like co-op orientated character, but he does have some really interesting momentum abilities, but he's probably not the one that I would probably pick the least, maybe if I was playing solo, because he is so like team focused, but there is value in all of them. But that is my guide. Let me know in the comments which one you are picking to play in Gotham Knights primarily. Who are you maining? Thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.